The story starts with a boy making a delivery. He recently began working part-time for a service called Deliver Eater. But the woman at his current stop is incredibly intimidating. She locks eyes with him, and it sends a chill down his spine. He nervously announces, "Deliver Eater." The woman is massive, and the boy has never had to interact with someone so tough-looking before. It's absolutely terrifying. Being socially awkward doesn't help, so his plan is to hand over the food as fast as possible and leave. Forcing a shaky smile, he says, Here's your food." She glares at him again with that same intense stare. Without thinking, he bolts. She's that scary. As he runs off, he shouts a quick thank you. The woman is left standing silently, holding the plastic bag, completely speechless. The boy feels relieved now. He wishes he could switch places with another delivery person, but in the countryside, he's the only one around. At times like this, he needs his dose of ashi, his favorite idol, his favorite VTuber, Haini Fuari-chan. Her naturally shy personality is something he really relates to. Watching her always lifts his spirits. While he's watching her live stream, she asks her viewers if there's anything they're trying to overcome. She shares that she's very shy and wants to overcome her social anxiety in real life. In the chat, her viewers respond, "But Fari, you can talk. If you can talk to us, isn't that enough?" She starts crying and says the internet is the only place where she can really speak. She believes there must be others who feel the same. She admits that, deep down, if her fans are doing their best in the real world, then should she be allowed to run away? The boy keeps staring at his phone, watching the stream closely. Fari says she wants to learn how to communicate outside of the internet. The boy cheers her on, saying, "Hang in there, Fari-chan." While still watching the stream, the boy gets a new delivery request. He's surprised to see it's from the scary lady again. He wonders why she ordered a second time. Maybe she wants to complain about the last delivery. He grabs his bicycle and heads out. Trying to build up courage, he tells himself, "No. If Fari-chan is trying so hard, then I should try too. I'll deliver this with a smile without running away. For sure." The intimidating woman is already waiting at the door. As he arrives, he's startled to see her standing there, and he imagines what she might say. Maybe she'll yell, "What took you so long?" Before facing her, he takes a deep breath, determined to smile and not run off. As he approaches, he says, "Hello, this is Deliver Eater. Thank you for using our service." The woman remains silent, and he's caught off guard. She then tries to speak, but only lets out a soft, "Ah." Just from that sound, something clicks in the boy's mind. That voice. He knows it. He can't believe it. This huge, scary-looking woman is Fari-chan. She quietly says, "Thank you for your time." The scary lady turned out to be his favorite idol. After the delivery boy leaves, Fari feels light and a bit drained. She had been so nervous. She quietly asks herself how long it's been since she last spoke to someone in person. Still, she's glad she was able to thank the polite delivery boy. She wanted to say it more clearly, but she did her best. And that's enough for now. Before anything else, she decides to eat. Fari usually eats 5 meals a day. He recently started working part-time at Deliver Eater, but the woman at that house continues to scare him. She's huge and always gives him such a hard glare. He wonders if it's because of what happened last time. Her voice had sounded so much like Fari-chan's that it startled him into running away again. But what if it really was Fari-chan? On another delivery trip to the same house, she suddenly gets very close to his face. He tries to shake the thought. He's probably just imagining things. Maybe his brain is linking her to Fari-chan as a way to make her seem less scary. As he attempts to deliver the food and escape like usual, she suddenly grabs his hand. The boy freezes in fear, thinking this might be the end for him. She begins to speak, saying that he's the only person who can do it. Hearing her voice now, the boy is certain. This really is Fari-chan speaking through this intimidating woman. She goes on, explaining that she's really bad at talking to people. The boy recalls what Fari-chan once said during her live stream, that she wants to overcome her social anxiety in real life. Fari-chan hasn't had a face-to-face conversation in a very long time. She orders everything online. But that one day, when he smiled at her, it made her truly happy. She mentions how he always places her lunchboxes and tissues so neatly, making sure nothing gets dirty, and her food is never ruined. She also notes how fast he always is with his deliveries. The boy is still trying to process everything, All he hears is her talking really fast. The boy realizes that this woman wasn't glaring at him in anger. She was just waiting for a chance to talk to him. She was trying hard, just like Fari-chan. Fari-chan then adds that since he was there, she thought she'd try harder in real life too. So the boy realizes that she was trying to face her fears. Whether she's Fari-chan or not doesn't matter. He wants to cheer her on for her determination. Fari-chan then suggests she give him a paid job to become her conversation partner. The boy smiles after hearing her offer. Then he pauses, wondering how on earth he ended up in this situation. Feeling overwhelmed and unsure, he reluctantly agreed. That was just yesterday. Now, Fari-chan is determined to talk to him, her conversation partner. She decides to start by greeting him smoothly, just like she practiced. She says aloud, "Thank you for today too. It's hot today, isn't it? Would you like to come inside and have some tea?" Just saying those words makes her feel good. She's happy she can communicate. She believes she totally knows how to do it. She takes a bath thinking, I can do it. She gets to bed thinking, as long as I can follow my envisioned approach, everything will be fine. I'll give it my all. The next day, the deliver-eater boy returns. She opens the door, but once again gives him the same intense stare, making her look just as scary. She thinks she should say something, anything, but she hesitates, unsure how to start. None of the lines she practiced come out. To the boy, she looks more frightening than ever. He's startled when he notices her holding a large amount of cash. Confused, he asks, "What's that cash?" She replies by asking how much she has to pay him to talk to her. The boy is stunned. She's seriously trying to pay him just to talk. He wonders if she misunderstood and thinks it's some kind of online transaction. He doesn't understand why she would go this far just to speak to someone. He declines the money and hands over the food instead. She then asks if the amount isn't enough and says money isn't an issue for her. The boy can't quite explain it, but something about this feels wrong. She looks down, clearly disappointed, and says, right. I'm sorry for troubling you," before slowly closing the door. Now he's left standing there, wondering if he did the right thing. Did he? Fari-chan is live streaming again, and she says she'll be playing games today. The boy is watching her stream. He expected that watching Fari-chan after coming home would help him relax, but he still feels uneasy. During the game, Fari-chan loses and says that today just isn't her day. Her viewers comment, "Are you okay? You seem less energetic than usual." The boy thinks to himself that Fari-chan really does seem a bit down. Suddenly she begins crying. "I'm clumsy and always end up messing things up," she says. Then she shares that she made a mistake in real life too. That she did something strange and probably made someone uncomfortable. After a moment, she forces a smile and apologizes for making everyone worry. The boy quickly types in chat, "No, not at all. That clumsy side of you is what I like." As he says it, he recalls the scary lady asking him how much he needed to be paid. He realizes she was clumsy too. Maybe that's why her actions turned out so awkward. He glances at his phone again. Fari-chan is still crying. Feeling a sense of urgency, he says aloud, "I can't let Fari-chan cry." He then donates 10,000 yen with the message, "I'm rooting for you," using his username, Nanashir. Fari-chan sees the donation and smiles. "Wah, thank you for your support," she says, surprised. She asks if he's really okay with that donation. Nanashir believes that if his favorite idol is happy, then he's happy too. He just wants Fari-chan to keep smiling. And then, he thinks of Wani-sanu. The next day, as he gets ready for his delivery, the boy checks his phone and sees a message from Fari-chan. "Please leave the delivery at the door." Standing at her doorstep, Nanashir decides to say something supportive. He speaks up, telling her that she can ignore him if she wants. But he feels like accepting money just isn't right. Even without being paid, he still wants to help her. He calls her one, then blushes after saying it out loud. She hadn't expected him to say anything like that. Then, all of a sudden, she opens the door, and Nanashir jumps in surprise. He quickly says again, "Yes, I don't need it," referring to the money. She hesitates and replies, but, before falling silent. Then, softly, she asks if he's really okay with talking to her. He answers, "Yes, of course." She smiles through tears and says, "I'm so glad." Nananishir's face turns bright red as he watches her cry. Then she suggests that they talk while eating, pointing toward her house. He's caught off guard. While eating? He repeats. Before he knows it, he finds himself entering the home of the intimidating woman he used to dread delivering to. She had invited him in, and the way she said it didn't really leave room to say no. He politely says, "Excuse me," as he steps inside, removing his helmet. He has a hard time passing through the door as one is huge. As he walks in, a strange feeling creeps in. Something about this whole situation feels off. Why would she let a complete stranger into such a private space? It feels too surreal, like the kind of setup in a drama where someone ends up walking into a trap just because everything feels too convenient. As they walk further in, she suddenly trips and falls on top of him. She's definitely clumsy. Nanir turns around to see what happened, only to find her staring at him seriously, as if nothing just occurred. The expression sends a chill down his spine. He starts wondering if he's about to get killed. She quickly apologizes and says she'll get up right away. As she tries to stand, Nanir notices something and asks about it. She sees it too and immediately says, "No!" while rushing to grab it before he can. In the scramble, he ends up getting hit by her chest. She apologizes again. Nanir ends up lying flat on the floor. Meanwhile, the food is already set on the table. 1 dish for him, 3 for her. She apologizes once more for falling on him, explaining she tripped. While she's saying this, Nanir can't help but wonder if she's really planning to eat all that food by herself. Clearly, she wasn't going to kill him. He had let his imagination get carried away. Then she asks if he saw what fell earlier. Nanir, confused, says, "Hey?" She brings up a script. She explains that she once worked as a voice actor for a short time. Nanir's face turns red when he hears that. It suddenly makes sense. No wonder her voice is so beautiful. Out of excitement, he blurts out, "Being a voice actor is incredible, isn't it? Why not?" She stares at him and says it's not something that suits her. Even if her voice was decent, she lacked the talent. Because of her height, she stood out awkwardly, and people began talking. She recalls people saying things like, "She's so tall but acts all timid. It's kind of creepy, isn't it?" Or, "She must have gotten that role by seducing someone, not skill." The way people looked at her started to scare her. Hearing this, Nanir realizes he'd also treated her unfairly. She adds, saying someone like her, a monster, shouldn't be so forward. But to Nanir, she's beautiful. He thinks maybe others were just jealous of her. Surely hearing people say things like that must have hurt her deeply. Even Nananashir had been teased for being short ever since he was a kid. He always laughed it off, but that didn't mean it didn't hurt. After listening to her story, he says, "Honestly, I love your voice." She looks at him surprised. He continues, "Whenever I got tired of worrying about what others thought, Fari-chan's broadcasts always saved me. When I heard your voice, I thought it was just like hers. Beautiful. It's clear, yet steady, with a slightly high tone. It's the kind of voice I'd want to hear when I'm feeling down. It's really—" Then he blurts out, "Oh, like the kind of voice I stand." Silence falls between them. Nanashir suddenly wonders if he got a little too carried away. She blushes while staring at him, and he stares back, unsure what to make of it. Then, with the most awkward and slightly scary expression, she gives him a smile. Nanashir can't quite tell what kind of face she's making. Suddenly she pulls out her phone and starts tapping the screen. Curious, he checks his own phone and sees something unexpected. He's received the maximum tip allowed. The scary lady had sent him money through the official app, and he's stunned. She's the first person to ever give him the highest possible tip. Still staring at his phone, he says in disbelief, "Didn't I say you didn't need to pay me?" She jumps slightly, looking startled. "But still," she replies. She explains that this is the proper way to do it, right? She adds that it's just a reward for the delivery, that's all. Nananashir believes it isn't okay, even if it's done legally. Then he remembers the time he tipped her when she was feeling down. He stays quiet. After all, he's being paid too. Juan starts speaking, saying it's been a long time since she worked this hard, and it's all because of him. She wants to do something to repay him. Standing up, she says, "Because of the guilt, I'll die." Just then, she spills water on his jacket. She quickly apologizes and offers to clean it. As she gets closer, he's struck again by how tall she is. He tells her it's fine, and that he'll clean it himself. Nananashir's been thinking for a while. She completely disregards personal boundaries. As she tries to wipe him down, she says it won't work unless he removes his clothes, which makes things even more uncomfortable for him. She suddenly suggests they bathe together and says she'll wash him. She adds that since she's so big, she'd just be in the way anyway, and that sharing a bath would only make things awkward. Nanashir starts to understand. Maybe her boundaries are so off because of how little she thinks of herself. She might not even see herself as someone of the opposite gender, which could explain why she acts like this. Then she walks off saying she's going to heat the bathwater. He quickly says, "Wait a minute, please." Nanashir asks if maybe what she really wants is a friend. She turns around. Huh? He just wants to know what she's truly looking for, because he wants to support her. More than anything, he wants to understand her goal. She shyly says that one day, she'd like to go outside and talk to people. Nana nods and casually suggests that they could go out together. The idea of him asking so suddenly makes her flustered. She starts imagining being surrounded by a crowd and panics, looking around nervously before yelling, "I can't do it! I'll be lynched by the crowd. I'll die in a crowd of people." Nanashir quickly explains that's not the kind of outing he meant. He says it could be something simple, like a late-night trip to a quiet convenience store. He adds that he wants to earn the tip she gave him properly. Bit by bit, they could work toward her goal. He tells her, "Together anywhere, I'll be by your side." She nods and replies, "I see, I understand. Step by step, right?" Nana blushes and says maybe they should call it a day. She tilts her head, confused, and asks if he's not staying over. She even bought a futon just for him. He thinks again about her unusual sense of boundaries. He waves goodbye, and she waves back. Once the door shuts, she thinks back to Nanashir's invitation to go outside together. Her cheeks turn red and she softly says, "With you." She gets ready to start streaming, hoping to do her best with the live stream. The stream begins, and she checks today's super chats. Like always, she chats with her viewers and reads their messages. After receiving a generous tip, Nanashir decides to make good use of it. Later, he meets her at the delivery spot late at night. He's caught off guard by how commanding her presence feels even outdoors. Under the night sky, she looks intimidating. Her gaze alone feels like it could kill him. Nervously, she asks if being outside like this is really okay. Nanashir, unsure why he's feeling so tense, quickly replies, "Yes." She admits that she can't handle being around anyone but Nanashir. He reassures her that taking this step will help her build confidence. She stares at him, looks sideways, and contemplates. She adds that since she's getting help from him, she won't back down. Hearing that makes Nanashir happy, and he tells her they can start walking. As they go, Nanashir remains anxious. He's never seen her at night before. He glances at her. Though she looks uneasy, he finds her even more striking than usual. He hopes he'll be okay. She begins to speak, but suddenly hears a sound. She immediately clings to Nanashir in fear. They look around and soon realize it was just a stray cat. Nanir was caught off guard, though not for the usual reason. He gestures ahead, telling her they're almost there. She looks straight ahead and spots a man taking out the trash. She lets out a small sound, and Nanashir glances at her. She then says she can't do it. Right before that, she had mentioned being afraid of people and how hard it is. "I want to go outside and talk to others someday," she had once said. Nanashir gently asks if going outside is really that hard. She begins to cry, saying, "Even though you helped me." Then she starts apologizing. Nanashir stops and watches her quietly. Realizing she's not ready, he asks if they should head back. She responds with, he explains that to beat her anxiety, it's more important to focus on what she can do right now and slowly build her confidence. Pointing back, he says, "You said you couldn't do it," and shows her the way back to her place. "It's all the way up there," he says. "Isn't it amazing you made it this far? Step by step, she'll be okay." He promises to stay by her side until she can do it on her own. Suddenly, she recalls his words. "Together everywhere, I'll be by your side." A calm sense of relief washes over her. Then, without a word, she takes his hand. He stares at her, wondering what just happened. Suddenly, he panics and asks what she's doing. She says she feels like she can still push herself a bit more. While holding his hand, hers so large and imposing, it reminds him how she can seem scary. Yet her eyes are always honest, focused on facing what she struggles with. Nanashir nods and says, "For the sake of helping this one, I'm here. Let's go." Without really thinking, he ends up walking with Juan, still holding her hand. The the same intimidating woman from the delivery stop. They make their way to a nearby store. Nanan suggests they get some ice cream, and before long, they're inside. She grabs a basket cart, and to his surprise, begins filling it with tons of ice cream. She says she won't need to go out again for a while, which catches Nananashar off guard. Calm down, he tells her. She responds, don't forget our objective, right? As she reaches for something on the shelf, she knocks it off by accident. Nananashar quickly catches it. It's okay, he reassures her, and she just stares. Towering above him, her gaze intense, he suddenly remembers how short he is. Her size overwhelms him, and he instinctively steps back, wondering if she's upset. Feeling uneasy, he decides to apologize, stammering, I'm sorry I got very close to you. But she starts blaming herself instead, saying, I did it again. I'm really trash. I'm just an insect. No, that's just your depression talking, he quickly replies. Nananashar realizes her self-esteem is crashing fast. He begins to panic, unsure how to help. Looking around the store, he spots the clerk restocking shelves at the worst time possible. If they don't say something, the clerk won't notice them. Nananashar knows this will be a tough step for Juan. He considers calling out, but before he does, she suddenly grabs his hand. He looks at her, surprised. She's holding on to him tightly, and he realizes she's trying to take the step herself. It's difficult, but this is something she needs to face. She walks up to the clerk and says, Excuse me. Her voice catches and she starts coughing, but the clerk notices and responds, apologizing and guiding them to the register. Juan then asks the clerk if he's okay. Nananashar watches quietly. She even manages a smile, and seeing it makes Nananashar smile too. At the register, they're still holding hands as they get ready to pay. They step out of the store together, and Nananashar praises her, saying she did great. Mission Kabini, complete. The payment went through online without her needing to say a single word. Still feeling unsure, she asks if she really did okay. Nananashar quickly responds with a yes. She smiles brightly and says, Thank you very much. He blushes in return. Suddenly the store clerk comes running outside, calling out, 1. Nananashar turns as the clerk jogs up and says, I'm sorry I forgot to put an ice cream spoon in your girlfriend's ice cream packet. Nananashar replies, Oh, thank you. Then the words sink in. They're still holding hands. Both he and Juan freeze as they realize what the clerk just said. Girlfriend. They instantly panic, letting go and asking if they really look like a couple. Nananashar looks up at her, thinking that he's just a delivery guy, and she's his customer. Their relationship is based on money. He says, We should probably go our separate ways. She nods and replies, Ah, yes. Thank you very much. It isn't good to be misunderstood like that. He thinks to avoid causing trouble for Juan. He needs to understand his position properly from now on. As they part, Juan walks away quietly, whispering to herself, Girlfriend.